What's up everyone, Klaux here, and today I'll be reviewing every single level of the best boss fight creator ever, Xender Game. I'll judge every star rated level though, even if it's a collab or something like that. Also, I'll be reviewing the levels from oldest to newest to give a sense of how Xender evolved as a creator, and without further ado, let's get right into it. Let's start off with Xender's first rated level, Road Within Me, which is visually clean and more interesting than most levels getting daily nowadays. And keep in mind that this level is 2 years old, so I'd say that it has aged fairly well in the visual department. The industrial theme is kinda well executed, and it just adds to the level's atmosphere, with all these oil platforms and the mechanical art in the background. However, I gotta say that the level loses its focus on theming as you play it, with some sections being forest themed, while others have volcanoes and even spacecraft in the background. Variety can be a good thing, but Road Within Me feels like a mashup of concepts that look interesting but don't fit together smoothly. But the biggest sin of this level is its gameplay, which is hard to read due to the overused move triggers in some sections. I know not all sections have this issue, but the problem is that the move trigger spam happens way too often to be acceptable. But I don't blame Xender Game for that, as we all need shortcomings to evolve. Overall, it's an okay level and I give it a 6 out of 10, Xender was still figuring everything out back then. But did he manage to figure out move triggers? To answer this question, we gotta cover Xender's first demon level, Boss 3 Electro. So this one is obviously a jaw-dropping level in the visual aspect, with all these masterfully chosen colors and flawless usage of glows. It also looks a lot better than Road Within Me, and if you told me this level was released today, I wouldn't even argue, it still looks crisp as new. Boss 3 Electro is also a big step up in theming, as its theme is based on a game called Badland, and it stays consistent all the way through. And although it is themed after that game, it is still different enough to be unique, as Xender went out of his way to make it memorable with his first boss fight in a star rated level, and boy is it good. He nailed movement smoothness with this one, and I give it an 8 out of 10, that's how the streak of awesome boss fights began. And the next level to be analyzed is Out, which is honestly not as good as Boss 3 Electro, and I feel this way for many reasons, so let's start off with the visuals. I don't like most of the designs in this level because they just feel generic when compared to other levels like Boss 3 Electro. It just looks kinda uninspired, and I think Xender could do better than that. The theming also goes the same way, kinda bland and uninspired, although I like it better than the visuals, cause it's at least slightly interesting with its dark atmosphere. Another thing I like is the movements, which never fail to impress in Xender's levels. Out is decent without a shadow of a doubt, but I wouldn't say it's the best Xender level out there, pun not intended. And I give it a 7 out of 10, decent but bland. But if Out was kind of a letdown, Boss 4 Laser Eye has surely outdone Out outright with its outstanding boss battles and out of this world sync. Okay, enough with the cringy Out jokes, but Boss 4 Laser Eye is a sequel to Boss 3 Electro, and I'd say it improves on its predecessor greatly. I mean, Boss 4 looks as good if not better than Boss 3, but deciding which one's the best is hard, so I leave it to you, as it all comes down to personal preferences. Boss 4 Laser Eye is considered tech themed by most people, and Xender seems to like this style a lot, as most of his levels are based in it. But saying it's just a tech themed level would be unfair to Xender's originality, so I'd rather call it Xender themed, due to how distinct it looks when compared to your average GD level. Also, as I'm making up the theme, I'll define it as well. A Xender themed level is a mix of 3 styles, modernistic, glow, and tech, with a flavor of originality and epic boss fights. So, after Boss 4 we have Neon 18, an amazing level that is pure eye candy with its gorgeous visuals and color combos. I see that Xender and D-Spectrum and GK try to experiment a bit with Neon 18, as we have really colorful sections like this one on a Xender game level, which was not something very usual at that point, even in collabs. He always tries to innovate with really good levels that take a while to be finished instead of just farming CP like most people do. About the theming and ambience in Neon 18, I'd say it has a lot of stuff going for it, so let's break it down. The theming of this one is made up by small details that give it an industrial feel, such as the backgrounds that look like buildings, the saws that make you feel like you're inside of an industrial machine, the blocks that move like an industrial line of production, and I might be reading too much into this, but those spikes moving down here look a little like a modern train. From the robotic boss itself to the city lights in the background, everything is concise and focused on one main idea, so I'd say Neon 18 is a perfectly themed level, 10 out of 10, please collab with the Spectrum and GK again. Coming next is yet another awesome level, Boss v Devourers. But although it's an awesome level, I don't think it's a 10 out of 10. And that's because there are some weird empty sections in it, like this boss fight section, which seems to need a more interesting background to feel right. And I'm not saying it's bad, don't get me wrong, I just think that those sections are a bit less detailed than your usual Xender game level would be. When it comes to theming, I'd say Boss V has an interesting one to say the least. And to sum it up, everything you could think of is a mouth. This boss has a mouth. His hands have mouths. This other boss, it's literally a floating mouth. The stuff he throws at you, mini deadly flying mouths. These platforms have mouths. That fucking spider, guess what? It has a mouth. My GD icon? Nah, just kidding. Has a goddamn mouth. The moon has a creepy looking set of teeth. I think you get the idea by now, and I give Boss v Devourers a 9 out of 10, not enough teeth, IGN. Then we have In, which is an effect level that's visually distinct from everything we've seen till now. But distinct doesn't exactly mean better, and if you look closely, In has some visual shortcomings, and I'll show you what I mean. In this early section, the block designs feel lackluster, and that's a common problem that I also see happening in many parts of In. Not everything is bad though, but most things are inconsistent. Like for block design we have good, messy and empty ones, and the same could be said for backgrounds. Though Xender had good excuses for letting these inconsistencies in. First off, the level is so fast that you couldn't stop and notice the emptiness of some block designs, so they're excusable. Secondly, the backgrounds change faster than geometry dash gets updated. Wait, that wasn't a good analogy, was it? Okay, let me try again. Secondly, the background changes faster than Densman can make levels, so the simplicity of them is possible. And remember that In was Xender's first effect level, so that's why I'm cutting him some slack. Theme-wise, it's a pretty hectic level with all these pulses and fast-paced movements. And I'd say that In is an explosive level in the literal sense of the word. I mean, the level literally has a bomb exploding at some point, and I think that's the main theme of the level, to be explosive and frantic. The visuals could do a better job of emphasizing such theme, but the level is fine how it is, and I give it a 7 out of 10. This is a good explosive mayhem. After that, we have Amethystia, which is a collab between McFeed and, you guessed it, Xender Game. Amethystia is visually unique because everything is made out of letters, and I'd say the purple color scheme fits that idea perfectly. This level is a visual masterpiece, and it also has great attention to detail. Like if you look closely in this section, you can notice unique words for every pillar, and considering that that's a fast section and barely anyone's gonna notice those details, I'm impressed that they're there in the first place. And what can I say about the theming? It's simply flawless and centered in a main original idea all the way through. I have no nitpicks whatsoever when it comes to theming. It is masterfully executed in this regard, and there's nothing to complain about. Or is there? No, there's not. My only concern with Amethystia was the possible confusion the letter portal such as this one could cause. But according to Nexus, a player who beat the level, it's not confusing at all, so I'll take his word for it. 10 out of 10, Amethystia 2 win. So we finally got to the biggest, most ambitious level Xender Game has ever made, the Eschaton. It is perfect in so many aspects that I don't even know where to start. But let's say that it's a 300,000 objects level which is 5 minutes long and is awesome in every single section. The Eschaton is the grand finale of the boss series, and it's absolutely packed with references to other Xender Game projects, like the first boss being a throwback to the previous Laser Eye boss, or the transition that says entering City Neon 18 when you defeat this mechanical monster. And then you're fighting boss 3 Electro again while going through a section themed around Neon 18. And the fact that the level keeps centered on the same theme while all this mix of ideas happen is just mind-blowing. If Xender Game levels were Hollow Knight, the Eschaton would be the pantheon of hollowness. I mean, you fight all previous bosses with new ones on the mix, and the old bosses are stronger too. I just can't stress enough how difficult it is to make a 5-minute level and never make a single disappointing block design, a single bad background, or a single messed up boss fight. Overall, the Eschaton is visually jaw-dropping, thematically consistent, and has perfect sync all the way through. In fact, it's so good that I feel bad for giving it a 10 out of 10, so I give the Eschaton an 11 out of 10. Xender Game's an absolute madman. After that insurmountable masterpiece, Xender made Field of Memories, which feels like what Road Within Me would have been had Xender known better back in the day. The level has clean visuals, and it's fairly distinct from all his other works. The art style here is definitely more colorful than usual, although not as flashy as In, for instance. Sorry for that joke. But on the theming department, this level has a little issue, and that's the fact that it keeps changing themes, although it's not as bad as Road Within Me, cause the different designs aren't that apart from each other. While Road Within Me has volcanoes and spacecrafts contrasting, which are like day and night, Field of Memories only goes as far as to have a medieval castle to mechanical industry contrast, which is not as big of a deal. Overall, it's an 8 out of 10. Can the theme be better? Yes, it can. Then there's Luminous Reaction, a good looking level that could be better in some aspects. Sections like this first one could have a more detailed background, and this issue becomes more apparent when you explore the upper part of the level, which is just kinda empty in the background. But other than that, the level has fluid movements and is enjoyable. Another thing that I dislike in Luminous Reaction is its boss fight, which is way too simple in my opinion, as the boss only has one move and therefore lacks any variation. I also don't find this background here particularly enjoyable to look at, but it fortunately goes away soon enough. Luminous Reaction is an overall decent level, as there's more good than bad to be seen, so that's why I gave it a 7 out of 10. Some parts are bad, but don't throw it all in the trash can. Last but not least, we have Memories, a collab between Xender Game and his friend D-Spectrum and GK. It's a pretty vibrant level, but I'd say it could be visually better. Some segments lack a background entirely, while others feel complete. This level is surely not bad, but I'd say that some parts are kinda rushed, while others are not. Overall, the level feels a bit uninspired, and I think Memories was the closest Xender game went to making a generic level. But it's not generic per se, it's just way less interesting than his other projects. Final score, 7 out of 10, could see some improvement. Sorry, I ran out of words that rhyme with 10. Hey there, thanks for watching this video till here. I have already reviewed every single Xender game level at this point, so now I'll be awarding the winners for my third creator contest. So if you're interested, keep on watching. If not, then I'll see you in the next video. Bye! Okay, so some people didn't get their rewards for placing in my last creator contest, so here we have all the participants of that CC, and people marked as red didn't get their rewards yet. So starting off with Sharp Star, he just didn't want it, so that's why he didn't get his prize. Then APDJAP placed second, and his prize was to get one of his levels showcased on my YouTube channel. And when I informed him about his reward, he told me he was working on an Ultra collab and wanted me to showcase it. But it's not out yet, so I can't showcase it till it gets released. But Cry0 won his prize, and it was the following. I'll reveal a level of yours, you choose which. So he chose Rapture, let's review it. Rapture is not a revolutionary level like the Eschaton, but it's still well executed, and I'd say that it has the potential to be featured. The block designs are pretty detailed, the air decals are well placed, and the gameplay is fair and readable, but also fun. The only small nitpicks I have are first, these little spike decals can be confusing at first. I thought they were real spikes, but they're not. And second, the level could have more custom backgrounds, but they're not really necessary. I mean, Rapture works as it is right now, and I give it a 7 out of 10, featured win. Then Pizza Hut 265 placed second, and his prize was to get one of his levels showcased, but I'm still waiting for his level to be released. Now there are two players that won third place, and they get to have one of their levels showcased, but I choose which. So those are klauxgd and ardentgd, so here are the showcases, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!